Mrs. Montgomery said, voice trembling. "Thank you, Your Honor. 2 years ago, my husband and I contracted Starlight to facilitate an international adoption from Ukraine. We paid $85,000 in fees, which included legal processing, translation services, and guaranteed placement of a healthy child under age 3 within 12 months. Judge Judy said, "And what actually happened?" Mrs. Montgomery continued, "After 18 months of delays and excuses, we finally traveled to Ukraine to meet our prospective daughter, only to discover the child didn't exist. The photos and medical records Starlight provided were fabricated. The orphanage they claimed to work with had never heard of them." Judge Judy turned sharply to Ms. Whitmore. "Ms. Whitmore, explain this deception." Ms. Whitmore said, "Your Honor, international adoptions are complex. Sometimes paperwork gets delayed or miscommunicated." Mrs. Montgomery interrupted. "It was a delay. It was fraud. I hired a private investigator who uncovered that Starlight has no licensed facilitators in Ukraine. The agency representative we met there was a paid actor. And we weren't the only victims. 3 other families have identical stories." Judge Judy said, "Mrs. Montgomery, present your evidence." Mrs. Montgomery said, "First, the original contract guaranteeing placement. Second, bank records showing wire transfers to shell companies, not Ukrainian orphanages. Third, the investigators' report proving Starlight fabricated documents. Fourth, sworn statements from other defrauded families. Fifth, our psychological evaluation built after losing the child we thought would be ours. My husband and I needed extensive therapy." Judge Judy said, "Bailiff, bring me these documents." After reviewing them, Judge Judy's expression darkened. "Ms. Whitmore, this was miscommunication. This was a calculated scam preying on vulnerable families." Ms. Whitmore said, "Your Honor, we intended to facilitate adoptions." Judge Judy cut her off. "Intentions don't explain fake orphanages and forged paperwork. Mrs. Montgomery, quantify your damages." Mrs. Montgomery said, "We lost $85,000 in fees. The investigation cost $12,000. Therapy bills totaled $20,000. And after this trauma, we can't emotionally risk another adoption process. So I'm seeking $35,000 for the irreversible loss of our chance to be parents." Judge Judy said, "Judgment for the plaintiff, Mrs. Montgomery." Judge Judy continued, "Starlight Adoption Agency, through Ms. Whitmore, you committed unconscionable fraud. You will return the $85,000 in fees. You will You will pay $12,000 for the investigation. You will cover $20,000 in therapy costs." Judge Judy said, furthermore, due to the profound emotional harm inflicted, I'm awarding $35,000 in punitive damages. Total judgment $152,000. Judge Judy added, "I'm also referring this case to the State Attorney General for criminal prosecution. The bailiff will take Ms. Whitmore into custody immediately." As deputies handcuffed Ms. Whitmore, Mrs. Montgomery hugged the stuffed elephant, a gift meant for the daughter she never met. Judge Judy, usually stern, offered a rare moment of silence before adjourning the case. The courtroom remained hushed as Mrs. Montgomery walked out, her grief finally acknowledged, but her dream of motherhood stolen forever. Madame Delacroix's voice trembled with fury. When the crates arrived in Paris, the Lavers conservators discovered sacrilege. My pieces had been mass-produced using cheap sand casting. The surfaces were pockmarked, the patines were spray-painted, and worse, they had melted down the original plaster molds to hide their crimes. Judge Judy turned sharply to Mr. Farnsworth. Farnsworth explained this artistic butchery. Mr. Farnsworth said, "Your Honor, we subcontracted to a specialist foundry to meet the deadline. There were some quality control issues." Madame Delacroix slammed her cane on the floor. "Lies. I have sworn statements from your workers admitting you sold my original molds to collectors. My dancing muse was copied so poorly it collapsed during installation." Judge Judy said, "Madame, present your evidence." Madame Delacroix said, "First, the contract specifying lost wax casting. Second, metallurgical analysis proving inferior sand casting. Third, photographs of my destroyed molds. Fourth, auction records showing me stolen molds sold privately. Fifth, the Lavers cancellation letter costing me the exhibition." Judge Judy said, "Bailiff, bring me these documents." After examining them, Judge Judy's voice dripped with contempt. "Mr. Farnsworth, this was to subcontracting. This was artistic vandalism and theft. Farnsworth said, "Your Honor, we offered to recast the pieces at cost." Judge Judy interrupted. "At cost does to replace 40 years of creative work. Madame Delacroix, quantify your damages." Madame Delacroix said, "The commercial value of the 12 sculptures was $1,800,000. The stolen molds were priceless. I estimate $1 million. The Lavre cancellation cost $200 in lost prestige, and $500,000 for the irreversible destruction of my artistic legacy." Judge Judy said, "Judgment for the plaintiff, Madame Delacroix." Judge Judy continued, "Renaissance Fine Art Foundry, through Mr. Farnsworth, you committed cultural crimes. You will pay $1,800,000 for the ruined sculptures, $500,000 for the lost molds." Judge Judy said, "Total judgment $2,300,000. Furthermore, I'm issuing an injunction preventing sale of any Delacroix works in your possession and referring this to Interpol for art fraud investigation." As federal agents entered to arrest Mr. Farnsworth, Madame Delacroix stood proudly. Judge Judy, in a rare gesture, inclined her head to the artist. The courtroom erupted in applause as officers led away the disgraced foundry owner, his empire crumbling like poor quality bronze.